I'm pleased to ask our President and CEO, Jeff Goy, to say a few words.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you, Crystal. Thank all of you for coming here today to join us in Wawanesa's welcoming ceremony for our spectacular new headquarters. I am a lifelong Winnipegger. I was born in Winnipeg, educated in Winnipeg, and I've lived in Winnipeg my whole life. And I'm a very proud Winnipegger and Manitoban. But I'm also a career-long Wawanesa employee. I have spent my entire career of 35 years working for Wawanesa. I was hired as an actuarial summer student by this gentleman right in the middle seat in the front row here, Brett McKinnon, and Malcolm Tinsley, our VP of HR, who hired everyone, as a summer student 35 years ago at Wawanesa. And I've been incredibly proud to be associated with Wawanesa my entire career. We are joined by many, as Eva said, employees past and present, and I believe most of them, all of them, would share my sentiment that they're extremely proud to be associated with Wawanesa. I have another unique aspect of my career. 191 Broadway, the building right across the street from the Manitoba Club in the Hotel Fort Garry. I worked there my entire career, even though in the last few years Wawanesa had expanded in Winnipeg to have 7 or 8 different locations. I was always in 191 Broadway, and I was always on the 9th floor for 35 years. There was a little bit of change management thinking that I was moving to this building. Proud of Winnipeg, proud of Manitoba, proud of Wawanesa. Well, my pride was elevated the first time I walked on this floor, the 21st floor of this building. And it wasn't just because it was 12 floors higher. It was when I looked out that window on many days like this or on clearer days, and I looked over there and I thought, Wawanesa, Manitoba is there. I can see the Leaf Restaurant. I can see the legislature, the Forks, the Human Rights Museum. Go around the back, the hockey arena, City Hall. And actually, if you look over here, all of you after, and look down, that's where in June you're going to see a Stanley Cup party. I don't know if declaring that mark is like shutouts, that you say it and you jinx it, but I've been saying it all year, so sorry about that if that's not allowed. Why I'm so proud of Wawanesa starts with understanding the history of Wawanesa. We were a company that started 127 years ago in 1896 in the small village of Wawanesa, Manitoba. The origins of Wawanesa are 20 farmers who were farming their fields with wooden thresher machines, and the thresher machines were susceptible to catch on fire. So if you happen to be the farmer whose threshing machine caught on fire, it could be devastating to you personally and your family and your income. So they came up with this concept. They tried to get insurance from Eastern-based companies, and they couldn't. So they thought, we can become our own company, a mutual insurance company. So those 20 farmers banded together. They put $20 in each, had $400, and what that was protecting them against whoever's threshing machine might catch on fire. No one would be destitute. They came together as a community to form a company. That's the concept of a mutual insurance company. We don't have any stockholders or any investors. We're owned by our policyholders. So in 1896, there was 20 farmers. They put in $20 for $400. This year, we have 1.6 million customers right across Canada, and we write $4 billion of premium. That's the trajectory of Wawanesa Insurance over that 127 years. This building I describe as a physical manifestation of the transformation of Wawanesa from its small town prairie roots to the company that it is today. But what is very special about Wawanesa is that we never forget where we came from. And I was so pleased with the architects that designed this building, Scott Sturton and team, A49, when they heard how important our history was, on how much of the history of the company was incorporated into the design of this building. It was critically important to me. Around the corner here, you see an overhead shot of the village of Wawanesa, nestled along the Souris River. When you go into True North Square and look up at this building, you can see the design feature that represents the Souris River. In various places here, you see the elements that look like wheat fields or the Tyndall stone on the main floor lobby, the naming convention, Naismith's Nook. The retirees would know that, and when you go on a tour, you'll see all kinds of other names. External and internal, it's a representation of Wawanesa's history and our trajectory. The retirees in this room, you all had a say in getting this company to where we are today, and I hope you're as proud as us of where it's transformed to. 1.6 million customers, $4 billion of premium. Thank you, A49, for your design, PCL for your excellent construction of this building. You think of a company that starts off owned by its members, those 20 farmers. Think of how tied you are to communities. That's why Wawanesa has a strong value of community, supporting the communities where we work and live. That's synonymous with what this building's all about. We partnered with True North, another company that's really committed to the community here in downtown Winnipeg and in Manitoba. They do things that help the community, and they take care of their business that's based in Manitoba and competes nationally. That's what Wawanesa is all about as well. So speaking of community, we want to make an additional announcement today synonymous with Wawanesa's investment in community. We are going to invest over a 3-year period, $500,000 in downtown Winnipeg, $450,000 over a 3-year period for the downtown biz environmental team, planting trees and community cleaning of downtown over a 3-year period, as well as $50,000 in the DCSP, and I see some hats at the back of the room, the Downtown Community Safety Partnership. That's our investment in community. We're bringing 1,300 employees downtown, and community is super important to us. So I thank True North and their partners on this deal. We love our partnership with you. When we thought of where we wanted to build our building and the True North Square was just starting to happen, I'm so pleased we picked that location because of the physical nature of the building and the partners that we have in it. I want to thank the Mayor and the Premier for attending our event today and all that you do to keep Winnipeg and Manitoba great. Wawanesa is a company that has business right across Canada, but our home is in Manitoba, and it always will be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And really excited to hear about our community investment. I know as soon as this event is done, I'm going to look down at that square and envision June and a big celebration. And I love how your storytelling, Jeff, you transport us to different places and times with how you share our history. Next, I'd like to ask Mr. Jim Ludlow, President of True North Real Estate Development and our partner in bringing this building to life, to say a few words.
Oh, now I can see Jeff's teleprompter. That was impressive, by the way. You know, I very much look forward to middle of June when you and Mark are both standing in True North Square celebrating, along with Wab and Scott, our aspirations for hockey excellence here in Winnipeg and Manitoba. So thanks, everybody. Jeff, Eva, Crystal, Mr. Premier, Wab, Mr. Mayor, Scott. Lots of friends here today, clearly. Mark and his family, Jeff Chipman, I think I saw, and their family members and colleagues from McGill. Hartley Richardson, I think, was to be here. Don Solomon, Micah Thompson, Dan Hirsch, Katie Hall Hirsch from Richardson's, Jason Levin, representing David Thompson, Lawrence Zucker, and Osmington, are very committed and Winnipeg-centric investment partners from Toronto. You heard about Scott Sturton and the team from May 49. You're going to hear more in my remarks in a few moments. Kelly Wallace over there and our friends from PCL, and of course, Jeff, Evan, and their Wawanesa family, board members, retirees, our new neighbors at True North Square. And to everyone, good morning. Today is, of course, a magnificent day. Jeff, I counted 128 years old and counting. A stunning new facility for the next generation, a proud organization, proud Winnipeggers and Manitobans, of course, today showcasing a major commitment to downtown Winnipeg and to Manitoba. So congratulations. That's a cue. So today we are pleased to welcome Wawanesa and their 5,000 nationwide employees into the True North family with the addition of TNS Tower 4, the new national headquarters for Wawanesa. We like to think of it as a remarkable addition to the impressive new skyline at True North Square and a pivotal project in the revitalization of Winnipeg's downtown core, something we're always working on, a commitment to architectural excellence, sustainability, and as you heard from Jeff, employee wellness. So again, congratulations, Wawanesa, and welcome to downtown Winnipeg. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, Jeff. From that first single step, this project has always been a function of strong leadership, bold decisions, thinking and planning, consolidation, organizational efficiency, teamwork, culture, employee satisfaction, defining architecture, legacy, civic commitment, and downtown density. A constant, unwavering eye on the prize. Jeff Goy and Evan Johnston had a vision for Wawanesa in 2018. Back then, we toured the recently opened True North Square and Canada Life Centre together. Could Wawanesa become an integral part of the downtown fabric? Part of True North's downtown vision for people, life, density, activity, and new development. Entertainment, sports, a catalyst for growth and rejuvenation. These two unassuming gentlemen are very quick studies. It didn't take these guys long to recognize what could be. The answer was ultimately a resounding yes, it could, and yes, we can. Refreshing. Although we had lots of work to do, both men could see the finish line. Draft, develop, be patient. That's what gets us to June. Design, build, consolidate, teamwork, foster culture. That's what got us here today. So gentlemen, today, folks, today is what a successful round 4 looks like. Jeff and Evan and their team are hoisting the Wawanesa version of the coveted Stanley Cup. Cautious, as you would expect, their thinking started slowly, yet methodically and with purpose, as you can imagine. The thoughtful genesis of ideas translating into people, design, and program. A campus in and around True North Square, or a single-tenant tower, all connected. Hargrave Street Market, Canada Life Centre, RBC Convention Centre, Wawanesa, its heritage, a wheat field, the Souris River, size, density, downtown life. How to make sense of all of this and translate it into a place for people and culture. Then, as ideas do, they take time in coming, then happen much faster than you think. Gradual quickly becomes sudden. The classic paradox, 365,000 square feet, 1,600 employees, occupancy in 2023, integrate base building and fit-up schedules, deliver both at the same time, design and program exercises, workspace planning, construction, a land assembly, demolition planning, relocate and build a new student residence for the RWB, city, permits, planning, meet, think, revise, repeat, over and over. 40 months, develop teamwork, culture, passion, inspire. Simple or complex. And then looking at Jeff, subtle, measured, intensity, and then, comma, 1,000 pounds of thoroughbred and post 5 in the starting gate waiting to explode. Post 5, Jeff. Taking the Game 7 opening face-off in round 4, ready, and then it clicks. Go time. Got it. Okay, leave it with us, Jeff. We'll see you on March 13th, 2024. So we assembled a core team of over 50 experts in design, construction, development, and project management here in Winnipeg. The best of the best and nothing less. The A team. We know A needs to work with A. A does not work with C. Lines in hockey. Simple. So A it was. We drafted the best, PCL, A49, respective trades, subtrades, consultants, subconsultants. No C players for Jeff, for Evan, for Wawanesa, for True North, for McGill, for Richardson, or Thompson. And then we got to work. Demolition started in January of 2021, a fully integrated base building and fit-up schedule in 30 months. Base building interim occupancy permits issued in June of 2023 and fit-up permits in August of 2023. A tall order in the ordinary course. Then layer in a surprise pandemic and all the associated supply chain disruptions, noise, and nonsense. And yes, by 2023, the A team advises project is ahead of schedule and on budget. And so it was. Impressive, maybe. More, it's simply a function of good people, teamwork, planning, and culture. Things Jeff, Evan, and I constantly talked about regarding Wawanesa and how their new national headquarters might reinforce those principles for their organization. As you already know, these are two real smart guys. The project was brought to life through exceptional teamwork and collaboration between True North, Architecture 49, PCL, and a dedicated delivery team from Wawanesa, alongside Mulvey and Banani, electrical, intuitive, structural, and TMP consulting, engineers, mechanical. This partnership, as you can imagine, was instrumental in advancing the project, ensuring that the design and construction aligned with our shared goals of revitalizing downtown Winnipeg while setting new benchmarks for wellness-focused workplace environments, teamwork, and culture. Okay, so the A49 team was led by its cerebral president, the intellect and fellow of the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada. I'm looking, Scott Sturton. Where is Scott? There he is in the back. Okay. Design architect, should I say that again? Design architect Michael Conway. Our elder statesman at our calm and collected go-to guy, Grant Van Eyderstein. Project manager, J.J. Ham. And feisty and super talented interior design lead in the purple Heather Smith. And 14 dedicated design, admin, and support staff, among many others at A49. Brilliant, brilliant work. A snippet, this is interesting, of the vernacular we became accustomed to in a 4-year odyssey with our architectural team kind of goes like this. Okay. The architectural design centered on the idea of the community of Wawanesa is physically defined by the winding of the Souris River, a prairie form that fundamentally interlinks both small and large communities. The abstracted form of the river valley became an allegorical connection between the many individuals and communities within the company of Wawanesa, as well as between Wawanesa and the people they serve as a mutual insurance company. This linkage is expressed architecturally through the connection of interior and exterior shared common spaces, galvanizing a sense of connected and common purpose. The exterior expression of the river element, which winds vertically up the glass facade, further defines and denotes common spaces and visibly underscores Wawanesa's desire to promote community. Okay. Experiences with architects, the great intersection of construction, design, poetry, prose, literature, and of course, people. In short, for us, design, build, people, culture, legacy, attract, retain, Wawanesa, and leadership. Wow. Scott and the A49 team, as much as this building is a legacy to Wawanesa, it is also a legacy to the city and your impressive design capabilities, which will forever punctuate the Winnipeg and True North skyline. So thank you very much to Wawanesa, or to A49. Now, our good friends at PCL, led by Kelly Wallace and a core group including Dave Van Hoeren, Harley, Interlake Gudmundson, Sean Osman, Megan Kuzin, and Matt McGinnis, and a team that grew to well over 350 during construction. So the PCL crew is a different story. It's the back end, the defense, the drummer. They protect, they keep time, the construction team. It's like managing Navy SEALs, to know to hold them and when to let them go. They love straight lines, a mission. And when you do let them go, And when everything is ready in the assault is planned, step back and watch. Poetry in construction. Prosaic. It's an art form. These are the kinds of folks that speak in hushed and reverential terms about things like tensile strength of concrete, tower cranes, transformers, stacking schedules, if you can believe steel, curtain wall, it goes on and on and on. Okay, fantastic. Though sometimes you have to remind them life isn't always a straight line. An absolute pleasure to watch their execution. PCL, with us right to the end. Thanks very much, guys. You make hard look easy. And of course, Wawanesa, Tim Luchuk, Shelley Middlestead, John, St. James Collegiate McIntyre, Barb King, Kathy Picard, Lisa Osachoff, the broader delivery and integration teams from Wawanesa, steering committees, procurement, Charanjit, Dami, Neil, and a couple of trade deadline members who joined the team at the end, Gord, Ian, and Amy. An impressive effort and build like this does not happen without an almost flawless interface and interaction with the tenant group. We are on schedule, on pace, decisions need to come, step up the pace, lots of challenges, decisions, and changes. Add 2 floors, gender-neutral washrooms, cafe, elevators, daycare, 7 laneways, a very long list. And here we are today, all buttoned up. So many, many thanks. It was a real pleasure working alongside you folks and getting to know you, especially during our monthly OACs, 40 of them I recall, leaving aside the hundreds of integrations, working, and leadership meetings. I have dozens of 3-inch binders full of our fascinating journey if you were ever interested in reminiscing. So yes, everyone, we are here in Winnipeg. I know in the moment, in this beautiful space, it might feel like Manhattan. That said, Wab and Scott can reassure us that the river to the east of us is not the Hudson, it is most assuredly the Red. 2024, this tower now epitomizes the synergy between visionary architecture, state-of-the-art interior design, and strategic urban development for Wawanesa as a most discerning and leading Canadian mutual insurance company. We are fortunate to have partners who believe in the vision of making their home a better place, who believe in community and in continuing to reinvest over the long term. Chipman, Richardson, Thompson, the province of Manitoba, the city of Winnipeg, True North, and now the entire Wawanesa family share a common thread of an enduring belief of the possibilities in downtown Winnipeg. So thanks to all of our partners. Of course, many thanks also goes to the core delivery team at True North, Gavin, Glenda, Susan, Brittany, Jace, Scott, Lori, Colleen, Krista, Josh, and many others. Legal teams at TDS, Aikens, McCarthy's, Blake's, and accounting and tax advisors at M&P. You know who you are. Great job, a job well done. We'll see you on North Portage in a couple of months. Oh, and speaking of North Portage, keep an eye on Portage Place in the Bay. These same principles will soon apply to a development plan with massive social and economic impact for downtown on a size and scale we have not yet seen in Winnipeg. So stay tuned, and thank you very much.
We will definitely stay tuned. And as appealing or alluring as it might be to pour over dozens of binders, we appreciate the time-lapse condensed version that you gave us of 40 months and wrap that all in with all of the context and all of the stories that went along with it. So thank you for sharing all that with us today. It really, it gives us a lot more insight into what those 40 months were all about. So thank you so much for that, Jim. We're super excited to be here as your neighbor in this vibrant part of downtown Winnipeg at True North Square. Next, I have the great honor of asking Premier Wab Kinew to say a few words on behalf of the province of Manitoba.
Well, thank you so much, Eva, for the introduction. I also want to say that I really appreciated Crystal's land acknowledgement. It's always good to hear the indigenous languages themselves and the names for the nations, like the Oceti Shakoi and the Anishinaabe and the Métis. And I want to say to Jim, wow, that was a tour de force. Went on a real journey there. Started as a fan of the Jets, and then for a while I was a fan of the A-Team. And then I was pondering the allegory of the riverbed. And what is the allegory of the riverbed if not an aesthetic category that describes the vertical lift necessary to raise Lord Stanley's trophy? Or simply, go Jets go, I guess. I do want to say to the entire team here, to the retirees, and to Jeff, congratulations. This is a big deal. And I want to say thank you for your visionary investment into downtown Winnipeg, which is Manitoba's downtown. This investment is going to bring people downtown and all the life and vitality that folks bring with them when they visit our city center, and that is only going to mean good things for Winnipeg and good things for Manitoba. I think it's amazing that this business started in a small office above a doctor's office in Wawanesa, not too far from the Souris, and now you see this breathtaking building here today. And I really think it's important for us to celebrate this achievement for your organization and for all the employees who work here, but also to take stock of the message that this sends about the place that we live and about the business community here. I was recently in Toronto. I spent a bit of time with a lot of influential people in the economic corridors of power, and they are talking about a Manitoba moment right now. And it's pretty cool to see things like this animating that and bringing that to life. This vision of our province as an economic force, as a cultural force, as a sporting force as well, of course, that the rest of the country is taking note of. And I think that's a really positive story for us to tell. It's not only going to attract more investment and more opportunity to Manitoba, but it's going to ensure that more of our kids stay here for generations to come and to continue to make good on the Manitoba dream. So once again, miigwech, merci, and a sincere congratulations to everyone here at Wawanesa.
Well, this Stanley Cup theme is really being woven through the day. It is pretty exciting. Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for being here. And we definitely have that shared passion for all great things in Manitoba, so thank you for that. Now, I'd like to ask Mayor Scott Gillingham to say a few words on behalf of the City of Winnipeg.
Thank you so much, Eva and Crystal, for the introduction, for the land acknowledgement as well. And a special welcome to all of you, especially those of you who travel from outside of Winnipeg or outside of Manitoba to be here. Really, really thrilled that you've taken the opportunity to come to Winnipeg. I trust you enjoy your time here, not just at today's great event, but for however long you're staying as a guest. So thank you so much for being here today. I'm absolutely thrilled to be part of today's event. Thank you so much, Jeff and Jim, Mark, and others. Thank you so much, Mike and others. Thank you so much for your investment in Winnipeg. I was thinking about the fact that this year, we as a city are celebrating our 150th anniversary in 2024. And to see all the transformation that has happened in our community over 150 years is truly remarkable. As the Premier talked about economic development, I can assure you that as Mayor and as the Premier, we've talked about the work that we want to do with groups like Economic Development Winnipeg and other Manitoba economic development agencies to attract investors into Manitoba, to attract mobile capital, to encourage companies to set up shop here. But notwithstanding that, I want to just speak for a moment about the value and the importance of companies like Wawanesa, who have been at the core of this community, of this province, for well over 100 years. And as we celebrate our 150th right now, I'm reflecting on this fact. And there are many families, some that have been mentioned today, many companies that have been part of the very fabric, the foundation of our community for well over a century and remain at the heart of our community. And it's those families, those groups like True North, the Richardsons, and others, Wawanesa, who are investing in our downtown to see our downtown transformed. As the mayor, I often say that no matter where you go in Winnipeg, the health of Winnipeg's downtown is important. Whether someone lives in the southeast corner of our city, in a community that's brand new called Sage Creek, or Waverly West in the southwest, the Maples in the northwest, or Transcona in the northeast, the health of Winnipeg's downtown really does matter to the health of our overall city. We will only be a strong and healthy city when our downtown is vibrant and healthy. And so we continue to focus on our downtown. In fact, the City of Winnipeg, we're just releasing Centre Plan 2050, which is our transformative vision for Winnipeg's downtown over the next several years. At the heart of that plan is an investment in residential development. What makes that possible, what's going to make it possible, is investments like this, Jeff. Investments like Wawanesa that will be yet another anchor in our downtown to ensure that our downtown is vibrant for years and years to come. And I want to thank you for your investment, your announcement today of $500,000, $50,000 to DCSP, who do outstanding work in our community, and $450,000 to our downtown biz and the Enviro team that makes sure our downtown is beautiful. The flowers make a difference, by the way. In our household, I can tell you what, the conversation at dinner time is potholes. Yes, the mayor talks about potholes at dinner time. My wife and I talk about that. We talk about the beautification of our community, and we talk about when the flowers go out and when the flowers are picked up at the end of the year. The beauty of our downtown, the picking up, the cleanliness, that all makes a difference. So thank you so much for seeing that, Jeff, and thank you so much for that investment. But I want to just once again close by saying I'm thrilled at this beautiful new building, which will be yet another anchor to our downtown and make a difference. I'm a guy who grew up on a farm, so I get it. Didn't grow up with thrashing machines, Jeff, but I get that idea of community coming together, which is really at the core of Wawanesa Mutual. So again, congratulations to anyone who in any way had a role to play in the building, the vision, and the design of this building. I'm looking forward to the employees, filling up the building and obviously making a difference in our downtown's economy. But thank you so much to everyone who's had a part. And again, to those of you who are guests today and are visiting Winnipeg, welcome. It's great to have you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor Gillingham, and we really greatly appreciate the relationship that we have with this city, and thank you for being here today. Well, we have come to the close of the formal part of our event today, and soon we'll begin tours of the building. But before we do, we have a very special thing that we would like to do. We'd like to ask the Premier, Mayor, Mr. Ludlow, Mark Chipman, Executive Chairman of True North Sports and Entertainment, Evan Johnston, our EVP of Strategy and Related Businesses, and Jeff to come back onto the stage and to stand for a special photo. And this really is a special photo. As you'll see on the tour you take through the building, Wawanesa's history, and as you've heard, our history is core to who we are. We value our history, we preserve it, and the photo we take here today will be preserved in one of the archival display cases for generations of employees to see. So I'd like to invite all of you onto the stage so we can take this wonderful photograph.
You guys are going to raise the minimum wage 4 cents more than required this year. If I have that accurate, you have to raise it by 46. You're going to raise it 50. Why not more?
The minimum wage is going to go up on October 1st of this year. We're making the announcement a bit early, supposed to announce about April 1st, but we're making that public now. It's going to go up to $15.80, and this is just in keeping with the framework for minimum wage in Manitoba right now.
Why are you not exceeding sort of the minimum? The previous government brought in a law allowing extra increase and acted on it. Why not more than the minimum?
We're keeping with the framework that's in place right now. Certainly we'll have engagements and conversations with many folks about this, but the main point is that the minimum wage is going up to $15.80.
Do you consider that a living wage? Because in opposition, you talked about a living wage, and labor groups have called for something in the neighborhood of $19 and change.
Well, a living wage is defined by which measure you use, right? You got the low income cutoff, you got the market basket measure, you have other not-for-profits making their own calculations. So I think it's important for us to send a message that, yeah, folks who live full-time shouldn't live in poverty, and that's why we're raising the minimum wage to $15.80.
What do you make of the MFL saying that they were disappointed you didn't take the opportunity in the fall to go further?
You know, we're making a lot of important decisions to help Manitobans, working people in the province. The most significant thing we've done is cutting the provincial gas tax. Not only did that put money back in the pockets of the average working person, it also slowed inflation, which is probably one of the most significant things we could do to help working people, to help lower income, situation folks, and really everyone in the province.
A downtown development question.
Okay. Yeah,
Is
great
the-
announcement today.
Is the province going to offer anything beyond what the previous government offered for Portage Place and the redevelopment thereof?
Not going to make any news on that topic today.
But Mr. Ludlow did say that suggested something will be coming soon. They have till the end of June to pull the trigger there. What can you tell us?
That I'm not going to make any news on that subject today.
There's also reporting as well, too, that you ordered a review of sexual harassment policies. Can you first confirm that, but also as to when did you order that review and why?
Monday morning. First thing I did on Monday morning. You know, there was the allegations by Sarah Guimard. Sarah is somebody that I served alongside for 2 terms in the legislature, and so I respect her and was very concerned to hear about what she had to share. And so seeing as that the no wrong door policy has been in place for about half a decade now, I figured given society's continued evolution, the expectations that society has, we should take a look at this. And so it's really about making sure that the ability of somebody to report and to be able to access supports is keeping with the expectations that I think everyone has, that you should be safe when you go to work.
And what hopes are you hoping that comes about from this review?
Well, people in the civil service, MLAs, a lot of the people we work with have unique jobs. We obviously go to work in specific buildings, whether that's the legislature or other, public settings, but then we also interact with the public as part of our job. We go to community events. We attend events like this great announcement for downtown Winnipeg, and I think what I'd like to see is just a continued upkeeping of the standard that people are safe when they come to work in the public sector.
Just another one about downtown, if I could. 1,300 people moving in here to this building. What do you think, that would be most beneficial to the sort of revitalization of downtown?
Well, I think it's great. When you bring 1,300 people downtown, you bring more than 1,000 people downtown. They bring their lives with them. They bring vitality. And in no small measure, they also bring spending power with them, which is going to have economic spin-offs in the region. So I think it means good things for downtown, and of course that means good things for our province.
Just back to Ms. Guillemard for a moment. She did issue a statement where she said that, a review is great, but it's all about the specific people. And she said Liberals, NDP, and Greens have their protected people too. So what do you make of that?
Well, we're going to continue to make sure that it's safe for people to come to work in the public sector.
Question from my national colleagues. You're the only premier who hasn't asked the federal government to cancel the increase planned for April. Will you ask the federal government to cancel the planned carbon tax increase in April as the other premiers have done?
Well, we've been very clear that Manitoba has a really strong case to make in terms of the carbon backstop not being applied in our province, and that's because Manitobans have made huge investments in renewable power, and we have a low carbon energy source here in Manitoba. So our province has taken action to help you. We've cut the provincial gas tax, that's 14 cents a litre, that you save every time you gas up. And so we're going to continue to make life more affordable for people.
Sorry, my question was, will you ask the federal government to cancel the planned carbon increase?
Well, we've made a very clear statement on an ongoing basis that Manitoba has a really strong case to make, and we're going to continue to make that case that we don't need the backstop here in Manitoba.
So you will ask them not to? You're going to make a formal request?
Who's to say we haven't?
Well, you're the premier. You could have
An assumption.
have you made that request?
You know, conversations that we have with the federal level are private until we decide to make them public.
Are you looking at legal action? Because, you know, the previous government said, well, we have a good case to avoid the backstop because of the money we invested in hydro, and then there was a court challenge, and then the appeal was abandoned.
Appeal was abandoned.
Yeah. So you're not looking at a new legal challenge, are you?
No, and actually we looked at what Saskatchewan was doing, and the advice that we got is that that would be illegal. We couldn't do that in Manitoba. And so for us, it's really about making that strong case publicly, saying we don't think the backstop needs to apply here in Manitoba, and we're going to continue to have those constructive conversations to make that case.
And you find your powers of persuasion are working? Are the feds open to reconsidering the backstop?
I would say that I'm not, like, I don't want to take the bait on, like, the powers of persuasion part of what you said in your preamble there, but I would just say that I think we have an ongoing constructive engagement with the federal government on this. There's been some indication that there's a willingness to revisit the backstop in Manitoba once, you know, we present that formal plan, and so we're going to keep making that case.
Why wouldn't you just say yes or no, Mr. Premier?
Well, I think that I don't have a date to share with you right now.
And why won't you just say yes or no, Mr.
Yes or no to what? I've said over and over again that yes, we are going to continue to make that strong case that the backstop doesn't need to be applied.
Well, speaking of your strong case, Pat's power generation, the vast majority of energy use here, though, continues to be fossil fuels. So how was that wasn't logical when Mr. Pallister and Ms. Stephenson said it. Why would it be logical when you say it?
Manitobans have low per capita greenhouse gas emissions relative to people who live in other provinces. And once you see the new measures we bring in our budget on April 2nd, you're going to see that Manitoba has a really strong case, a credible case to get to net zero, according to the federal aspirational targets. And so what's different from what you heard, the rhetoric under the PCs, to the plan that we're putting forward, is that we're going to do new measures. We're going to take new steps to help Manitoba do its part to solve the climate crisis.
You look outside this building right now, there's people driving automobiles. The vast majority of them use gasoline or diesel. I still don't see why.
Very esoteric observations you're making, but
It's not esoteric. It's the vast majority of energy use here continues to be fossil fuel. So why would Manitoba have some special treatment warranted just because our hydro grid is mostly electric?
Well, because our electricity grid is effectively decarbonized and will be completely decarbonized in the years to come. And as a result, GHG emissions per capita are lower here than they are in so many other parts of the country. And then when you combine that with new climate mitigation measures that we're going to roll out on April 2nd, Manitoba's got a really strong path to net zero.
You're going to introduce an electric vehicle rebate, correct?
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of campaign commitments we're looking to make good on.
What are you going to do when Manitoba Hydro tells you that in order to meet the energy gap in the short term, they're going to need natural gas plants? What are you going to do?
We're going to ensure that we decarbonize the grid completely.
So you don't think that's coming?
The mandate letter says not to use gas-fired plants.
I don't think the energy usage of the vast majority of Manitobans cares about your mandate letter. If there was a colder snap this year, you and Hydro would have been telling people like Alberta did to cut back on their electricity usage.
You know who saved the day for Alberta? It was Manitoba's low-carbon electricity grid. There was.
You sold to Saskatchewan, and they sold to Alberta at profit, and cutting Manitoba out of the profit.
Well, we're the ones who saved the day. We kept the lights on for our western neighbors, and that's a pretty strong case to move towards net zero for everybody in Canada.
I look forward to speaking to you further about natural gas when that comes upon.
And I look forward to hearing more declarations from you as the leader of the press gallery here.
Whoa.
Did I step on your are you the leader?
Yeah, you're insulting everybody else. Marty would be the senior member
Actually, no,
here.
I'm having some fun at your expense, partly. You'll have to
all-
forgive me.
I forgive that.
Sorry, Premier, I know you reacted to this yesterday, but just for my colleague as well too.
Okay.
Wawanesa talked about parental consent when it comes to students changing their preferred pronouns in schools. Just your quick reaction to that.
Well, it's more divisive rhetoric from the PCs under their new interim leader. Same message as Heather Stephenson had in the election campaign. I think Manitobans rejected that kind of division. And so we're going to focus on helping students. We're going to focus on helping families through this affordability crisis. And we're going to fix healthcare. You know, those are the priorities we're focused on.
Oh, can you answer the federal carbon tax question en français, s'il vous plaît, for my National Radio Can colleagues?
OK, perfect. Yeah. Alors, nous sommes toujours en train d'avancer l'argument que le Manitoba n'a pas besoin des frais et des impôts sur le carbone parce que nous avons fait beaucoup de travail déjà ici dans notre province pour lutter contre le changement climatique.
Merci beaucoup.
Thanks, everyone.